Hello everyone, and welcome back to An Art Worth Living. So today we're going to be learning how to draw these two faces. This is just a picture I used from a reference, which I will show you here, and I will walk you through how I made this picture of a real person turn into a cartoon without losing too much of my style. And then I also did a very quick sketch of the same exact character using a completely different reference, and I turned her into like this little disgusted witch thing. So without further ado, this is what we're going to be learning how to draw today. And grab your pencils, grab your eraser, and strap in for a ride. Sadly, I drew this entire thing and recorded it, and the exposure was too high. Let's start with the cartoon, because last time I started with that one first. So this one, I'll pop up the picture here on the side. She's doing this very disgusted look, but I'm going to be modeling her after this lady, this beautiful picture here. So, guys, I'm hungry, haven't eaten, oh my god. Now with this one, we're going to start off with a circle. So we can just draw a very rough circle here. It's very rough and defined. And when you guys are drawing circles, as you see, I hold my pencil pretty far away and I just do circles with my whole arm. So I'm moving my whole arm like this in a circle to get a circle. So once I do that, then we're going to kind of map out the facial features. So I'm going to bring this down. Now when I draw, I picturize the top of this circle as the hair. So I draw this line a little further down so I can kind of see the whole face at once. Now for my cartoon style, I'm not as defined with the line work on the face like this. I like to keep things a little more rounded and a little more fun and spontaneous. So in this picture you can see here, so this picture here, she's got this like disgusted, like I don't like you look, like ew, I don't know, a mean look, I guess. So here you can see I actually brought the jawline straight down because she is kind of going like a little snarl on one lip, so her cheek will be a little bit puffier on this side. So you want to just draw a line, very flat line, no defined jaw on this side. And then now we want to add in the cheek, so we're going to bring it in, and then we're gonna, I like to kind of box this out straight, and then I bring her cheek up and around like so. And it's only very slightly because I find that if I try to do it too much, she starts to look a little wonky. So I just kind of roughly block out this fun rough shape, and it's more like a straight with a little puff. And just kind of erase the excess lines. Puff and straight. This is just completely rounded, so we can kind of go like that, right? So now that we've gotten the face features down, we want to, well, the base of the face, we want to talk about her neck. Her neck's kind of long and very like I don't know, like her arms are crossed maybe. So we're gonna draw her neck very thin because with my cartoons I don't give them very big necks like here. So I'm gonna just kind of bring this in and then just, and we want them both at two different levels because she is doing, her arm is crossed. One arm is going to be slightly raised compared to the other, like so. It's not very dramatic, but it's just that will be the base for now. Just add in some details so I remember what I'm doing here. So now we've mapped out that, and now we're kind of getting more of a definition in town type of look. So now that we have that, I am going to start with the hair, just because it's easiest. So she just kind of has bangs, and her bangs are fairly short. So I'm gonna draw a rough little line here to guide my bangs. So just rough in some stuff. I'm not gonna make it exactly like this because, you know, why? You know, we'll just bring that all the way out to the edge. So that's her bang. Bring her hair out. I'm gonna make this side just slightly longer because her head's kind of doing a weird thing, and I want her hair to be as expressive as her face. So we're just kind of gonna bring that off. Bam, now we have her hair. Maybe we'll give her like some little hoopies. Yeah, here we are. Now her nose is gonna be scrunched up like she's doing a so I say like you guys can see the facial expression I'm making. But yeah, her nose, see here, is scrunched up, right? One half of her lip is being raised, so that nose is being raised. So we want to kind of give her a little, I just kind of give her just a little bit of a wing there. Nothing too dramatic with the lines on the face because it tends to make them look a little old. I personally like to blush out the nose a bit. Don't know why I do it. It's just what I do. And then now we're going to do the mouth. So for this type of mouth expression, I start with the actual opening. So her opening comes down like this and it comes up. Almost like she's doing a half smile. Just a slight, like, so it kind of actionizes her cheek here. So it's like I'm also leaving room for her defined lips because I like to draw lips on my characters. Even my male characters get lips. And then her top lip, of course, is going to be a little thinner because, right? And then I draw her teeth. I don't do anything too fantastic for teeth. I just kind of do a little square like so. And then I'll fill in the darkness. I like the upper lips to be a little more defined and dark than the bottom lip. I think I do that because me personally, my upper lip is darker than my bottom lip. So bam, we've got a quick sketch here. Now the next thing that's pretty big for expressions are the eyes and the eyebrows. So her eyes would be about here, which this is how I do eyes, guys. I put indicators of where they're going to be. It's a little weird, I know, but it's just what I do. Do a very rough sketch. So now that we have this, we want to do the eyebrows. So the eyebrows, one eyebrow is going to be up, kind of like she's doing a face. Face. So we're going to draw that eyebrow real arched on one half, as you see, real arched. And it just kind of comes down at the very end. And then I always just kind of sketch up a thicker line from where I did that. And then her eyebrows, of course, going to be much less upward. So we're just going to do a very basic eyebrow here like this. That goes a little up. And then it curls down. Her eyes. Now her eyes are very malicious, I'd say. So I just kind of drew a very basic eye with some dramatic lashes. Whoop and whoop and whoop. So yes, just some very basic lashes, and I'm just gonna actually draw out a straight line. I don't want it to be much more than a straight line because she has a very disgusted look. So for this side, I actually am going to bring it up a bit like this. So almost do like a slanted line to match her expression. So again, we're gonna draw in her eyes from the corners. And I like to do some bottom lashes because I just like them. They're cute. We'll give her very narrow eyelids because she is very dramatic. very sassy. And that's kind of the basis for it. She is wearing like a little sweater, so I bring that down with a little thingy like that, and then a little thing like this. And bam. And then the same thing goes here, because she is wearing like I said, a little sweater thingy, so I don't know. And she's got a little bra on here. There. So just real rough, real sketchy. We're not doing anything too fancy here. And now we're gonna go in with some shading. I like to add blush to my characters, so I'm gonna add in a little blush for her. Which you see I am making this blush kind of come down because you want to keep it. I shadow the arch of the eyebrow and I bring it down around the eye, but I leave that little lid untouched. And then I'll bring it all the way up to the temple and then shade out the hair area. And that's how I drew this picture here. This one of course looks a little more refined, but that's okay. I did spend more time on it. There was nothing I can really do about the footage, which I'm so sorry. And one tip that I like to give people for their sketches is if you want to bring out the highlight of the face here, which I mean everyone does, you want to of course shade everywhere that you want to shade. I like to also blush out the shoulders, so we add a little shade everywhere. And then I like to shade the hair and clothes, so I just give it a very light layer of color, nothing very dramatic, just a layer of color. And then do the same exact thing with the hair. I give it a layer of color, and the reason I do that is that when I'm actually when I'm trying to look at the face, it kind of emphasizes the face more than the other features like the hair and the stuff, because I want to, you know, have a dark light dark situation, which is what I do, as you can see with everything. So this is how I draw my cartoons. You start with a circle, you throw in the nose and the face, and this is how we recreated this. She's looking a little more mean muggy, but that's completely okay. So now that we've got the cartoon stylistic out of the way, which you can see her neck's very long and elongated and everything's just more cartoony, let's get more into the realistic look, which we'll see how this goes because it took me a minute to do this one. So again, of course, as always guys, we're going to start out with a lovely circle. It's the basic shape to all faces. So you start out with a nice circle, right? Bam, circle. And then as you can see, her head is at a tilted axis, which is why you can't see her ear. So you want to bring that line in. That center line that you put is kind of the direction that you want your face to go in. So since we want a little bit of a tilt, as you can see here, we've got a tilt. We're going to take the top of that head and do the same thing, right? It seems really dramatic here, but if you think about it, I have a circle, right, that you can see here, and then I have a nice middle line that comes down. So we have our circle, and now we have that middle line that's coming down. Whenever you're drawing your faces, you want to make sure that you really take in consideration the face also to the body. So let's just kind of do a rough guide here. We'll just kind of bring the head around. We're not doing anything too fancy here, guys. Don't press hard on this paper when you guys are going through your sketches. Do really light lines. So as you see, I hold my pencil like this for a reason. It's so I can't go like this and really try to press down on the paper. You don't want to do that when you're in your sketching phases. You want to keep your pencil very light and loose, like it's a spaghetti noodle that's been cooked al dente. So I take note of where my eyes sit, where the nose sits, and where the lips sit on the face. I use the top of my circle, as you can see here, as the hairline. So this is the very top of the head. The reason why I do this is because I find that if I try to use this circle as the actual face and build hair on top of that, it never looks as good to me. So me personally, I use the top of the circle as the head, and that is how I do it. So as you can see here at the bottom of this circle, right, I have that nose. So the nose is going to start about right here. And you can see I almost make it like an egg-shaped circle because I want to know. So my nose is going to be here, and my eyes are going to be about right here. And then my lips will be about here, and now I can draw my chin out. I'm just doing very rough lines just to kind of guide in where my eyes and where everything's going to sit on this face. And as you can see, the more I'm sketching, the more you start to see the face before it's done. I can see the jawline, I can see the nose and the eyes built out. But again, I've been drawing for 12 years, guys, so of course I'm going to be able to see it quicker than you. So now that we have the base of where everything's going to go in the top of our head, we want to go in with the jawline. And you can see here, one side of this jaw, kind of like here, since the face is tilted, you won't really see a jawline here. You can see a little bit of jawline here, but her jawline is also higher. So you want to keep that in proportion. As you see, her lips are kind of the axis of her jaw here. So we want to just kind of draw a very light line, just light enough that you guys can see it. And we're going to bring it down. So we're going to make the chin, of course. Make the chin. And then bring this face down and around. Now the jaw comes higher, guys. This jaw is going to be higher and more defined. For my females, I don't define jaws that much anyways, so you won't see too much definition here. But bam, this is the first half. Now for the second jawline, which you see I leave a little bit thing for the chin, and then I move on to the jaw. And since her face is tilted, you can see I have my line here for a rough sketch, but since her jaw is lower than this one, we want to make sure that the jaw kind of comes around here, if that makes sense. So we're going to draw this line up like that. You see how I did that? I kind of bring it in just ever so slightly and bring it back out ever so slightly, and then I just kind of round out that face a little more. And you don't, this is not a guy, so if I was going to do a guy, I would really define that corner, but since it's a female, I make it very soft, so that nothing seems too defined. So this is kind of the way that I do my jaw lines, and I keep everything in perspective of the shape. So now that I have the base of the face down, it's kind of hard to keep everything proportionate just off of this alone. So what do you do when you need to keep everything proportionate? You start drawing the shoulders, and here you can see that one neckline is very long, so we're gonna bring that neckline in and make it long. and it's very close to her jawline, you can see, and it kind of softens it up. And now for the second one, it's much shorter. It's coming in one because her head is tilted towards her shoulder. So naturally, this shoulder is going to be closer here. So let me just erase this cartoon word. This is gonna naturally come down and then just come out, you know? Nothing too dramatic. You still want it to be very natural looking, of course. But here, you know, this shoulder is going to come down as if her shoulders are straight, you know, almost as if her shoulders are straight, but they're not. So this is going to come down. This is going to come down even further to relax it, while this one is going to come up, and it's going to seem like she's raising up her shoulder a little bit to meet her face. And see, now that I have the shoulders drawn, this looks a lot more tilted. And yeah, so this side of her face, you know, very round, very straight. But this side, she has hair there. So right above her jawline is where her hair starts, right? And right below, again, at her other jawline is where the other hair starts. So you want to keep track of literally everything in like not proportion, but like coinciding with other parts of the face. So I guess what I'm trying to say is how I look at a head when I'm looking at a reference, which the reference will be here. You have the jaw, right? That's kind of the base of her face, and then you have her neck, which kind of comes out and it's a little short, and then you have her shoulders, right? And you would think if you're going to draw this more flat, I try to make it more realistic, you want this shoulder to come down and this shoulder to come up, because that's putting movement into this piece, like she's moving to pose for an image. And then for her hair and her jaw, you can see one jaw is much closer to the shoulder while one jaw is much farther from the shoulder. And that coincides with her hair on the picture too. This hair is going to be lower than this hair because her hair is tilted, so you want to keep all of that in proportion to the style of image you're drawing here. And as you can see, her eyes will be at different levels, her eyebrows will be at different levels. Everything is tilting one way. So with her face, with her hair, I'm going to bring it quite close to the top of the head here, and I'm going to bring it down, and it comes right here by her lip and right about to her nose. So we'll just rough in a very light sketch of this, and then I just leave it a whole block. This is not the time to try to draw anything. You're just drawing a rough block of it. So now that we have that, we are going to bring that around like so, and then bring this up and around like so. Her head's a little long, I can see, so we're gonna erase some of that head part. This makes more sense now. So see, now we've got a little bit of hair here. We can cut off that line there because there's no line there. Now for this half, her hair has a little bit of movement, so we're gonna bring this line out like so. Like she's flicking her hair, and she has a loose hair, so we're just gonna sketch that in and keep moving. Now, since her eyes are going to be here, you can see she needs space for the eyebrows, and then her hairline is actually pretty close to her eyebrows. So again, you want to make sure you're rounding off that hair, starting higher here and ending lower here, because the head is tilted. So here we have the hair blocked in for the bangs, and that's the base of it. The base of her hair is done. So now we can go in and add our facial features. I kind of think it's better to block in the hair and then add the eyes and stuff. I don't know, it just makes more sense to me. So for this, you know, her nose should kind of come around and curve. Because you think about it, her head is tilted, so one side of her nose should be a lot more defined than the other side, right? And then you draw some nostrils in, and bam, you have a basic nose. I like to keep highlights open, so I like to just kind of highlight in something, and this is kind of what I do for a nose, guys. Nothing too dramatic, nothing too extravagant. And then let's move on to her lips. Now she's got a good chin size here, so we're gonna define this as the bottom lip, right? And so her upper lip is gonna be somewhere here, just about. So her lips kind of comes around and it comes up here because she does have her lips open like so. And then the bottom lip kind of just comes down a little bit and comes back up. Bam. So here we are. I really don't know how to describe lips. I always draw the innards of the lips and then I will define the outer lip. So if you can sketch out the shape of that inside line, then the outside lines kind of just come. Just like that. And I'm gonna make her have a cute little cupid's bow because I think that would be adorable. And that's how I draw lips. I define the line and then I just add the lips. And you can make lips larger, you can make them thinner. One thing I do tend to see a lot when it comes to realism is the upper lip tends to be much darker than the top. The top lip, tends to be much darker than the bottom lip. So I carry that into my artwork a lot. Where the bottom lip is just more defined. Like so. So bam. Now that we have the lips out of the way, now we can go in with the eyes. Now, the way I draw eyes are a little weird, guys. I won't lie. So, I start with, this is a little too high for my liking, is dots. So, you can see on the picture too, the eyes are a little far from the nose. So, we're going to put a dot to indicate where I want it, right? And a dot here. But to make sure that the proportions of the face is proper, we're gonna draw a line. Because what did I say about this picture, guys? It is tilted. So, we want to draw a line. So now you can see here that I already put those dots too low. So we're gonna put a dot here and a dot here. And then we see she uses space between the edge of the hair and the eye, so you want to leave a little space like that. And the same with the other half, there's a space there, so leave the end of that hair there. Well, not hair, eye. So from here I just kind of do this oblong shape, like a almond shape for the eye, just to kind of block in how it's looking. And I'm like, okay, you take a good look at it, and if you like what you're seeing, you stick with it. So now I'm gonna go a little above this line, but you still use these dots as your guidelines. So I'm gonna come up and I'm gonna bring my eye higher. So again, I'm still keeping track of those dots relation to the face, but I'm just making them higher. And then I like to add in some lashes, nothing too fancy. I'm not, some perfect realism eye girl. I just like to draw some lashes, and then I'll draw the bottom eye like that, right? We can erase all these lines around the inside because they're kind of throwing off the eyeballs. Oops, I hit the mic, sorry. Bam. And I'm that person that adds bottom lashes to my girls. I just think they're so adorable. And this is the base for the eye. eyes. Now her eyes are kind of looking straight forward, so I'm just gonna draw some circles. And I'm kind of drawing so the circle kind of touches the bottom of the eye, because you can see her eyes are a little more buggy, so her eyes should round out to like there, I guess. Shorten that a little bit because it seems a little wide line. And then I leave a highlight and just shade in the innards. Bam. So we'll add some beautiful things like that. And now let's do the eyebrows. So for me, I like the eyebrows to be more defined. Her eyebrows are a little thick on the thicker side, so I don't like where I put the arch there. The arch needs to be a little further back, so you want to boop boop bring it further back and then bring it down like so. And then I'll do the same on the other side. For me, I like to do individual hairs to kind of make up that eyebrow shape. Bam! So I like to go in on my sketches and I erase just a few of the lines that I need to. The nose, nostrils are going to, of course, be dark. And as you can see, I like to blush out me nosies. So I start with a gradient, right? I work the gradient around the highlight of the nose and I bring it up. And I just keep doing that darker and darker and darker, getting lighter as I put the pressure on. I also like to bring it around the eyes like so, and I shade, and I keep the front of this eyelid untouched because I don't know, it just looks right to me. And then I'll come around, and since her hair is kind of here, I like to do a little blushies. I just kind of block in a little blush, and her blush should start a little lower here because her cheek is turned. And yeah, I'll do that and then do the same thing on this side. And to soften up the blush, I take my kneaded eraser and I just tap at it. It sounds weird, but I just really tap at my blushies so it's not so harsh. And bam! So now we can actually get into the nitty gritty of the hair. So we can go in and define our lines. And you can see I drew the line like that and then the line like that. And to keep the movement in the hair, I keep the line that I started with here with the end result of the hairline. So I bring it like that and I bring this like that and I keep that motion throughout. And then we'll just kind of throw in her hair, and I just like to just roughly sketch it in. And then here she's got the same thing a little here, and then I do the same thing and I go like that. So I keep that curve. Don't just make it, you know, like this or weirdly. Keep the curve that you drew for the shape of the hair. So I like to give it a little divot at the top for shape. And then the bangs. So of course these bangs are gonna come down like that, but these ones are gonna come a little more straight. Then we've got a couple little stragglers. And for this side, I kept it very solid. For this side, I made 2 separate lines because again, it is tilted. So most of the hair is flat on this side. And that's how I do hair, guys. I keep things very roughly blocked, nothing too fancy. And for her shirt, she just has a basic black shirt on. Nothing out of the ordinary. And give her a little neck. And bam. That is how I drew this realistic drawing right here. Let's add in a little shade, I guess. And once again, I will darken up the shirt to keep some dimension to the actual drawing. Bam. And I'll do the same thing with the hair. Do a light color of shade. So it is not to detract from the shading we put in the face, which we need to add some shading here. And this is how I did the realistic, and this is how I did the cartoon. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I will definitely be doing some more videos like this where it's a little more slow paced and you guys get to do the sketching process with me. I actually feel personally that this one here has a little bit more movement than this one. I feel like the eyes have a little more definition. The eyebrows feel a little softer, which makes this image feel like it's less stiff. And then here, I feel like this feels a lot more stiff than this, because like, she's just like, I don't like you. You know, she's giving off that vibe. And then here, it just feels a little bit more still posed. And it's probably because I did define these lines a little more, which is the difference from like a more final sketch drawing to a more just sketch. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. This is how I draw my faces, and comment down below what you guys would like to see me show you how to draw next. I guess this is it, you know. What should we name her? Maybe Matilda? I don't know. Comment down below what you guys think her name should be. Anyways, I am just rambling at this point. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys would be so kind and you made it to the end, please hit that subscribe button. That really helps out my channel so much. You guys would never believe it. And leave a like if you learned something. My purpose on YouTube is to teach you guys art, and I'm not no professional. I did not go to school for art. I am just a typical human being putting her creativity on some paper. So maybe next week I'll do how to draw male faces. Actually, no, next week I'll give you guys a little insight. We have a spooky video coming on Halloween, and let's just say it's gonna be quite a soft-spoken video because it is going to be a creepypasta. And I came up with this idea. His name is Headless Jack, and you're gonna get a spooky, scary story on why his name is Headless Jack. So if you guys want to see that very fun Halloween video, I'm just going to be drawing out Headless Jack and telling his spooky, scary creepypasta. So I hope you guys had a fun time sketching with me. I definitely enjoyed this type of video a lot more than my other ones. It's a little more slow paced, so I feel like you guys can actually get a pen and paper and draw with me. If you guys want to see what I used for to make this drawing, I will have all my tools listed down below, and I will see you guys next week.